Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm Lee Marvin, attorney. I've been practicing immigration law for over a decade. Um, and I'm here today to provide information to my friends and fans about immigration. Okay. So, the topic today that I wanted to talk about is a topic that is coming up all the time, more so now than probably ever, which is processing times, wait times, et cetera, et cetera. So, the first thing I want to start out with today is the processing times for I485, which is green card requests for family members, specifically spouses inside the United States. Okay. And then there's also information about family petitions for those outside the United States. Okay. So basically, processing times are something that is constantly changing, slower for most people than has ever been happening. So I always get a ton of questions about processing times. Okay, so this little promo that I had on a second ago, which is right here, marriage green cards. Okay, so this is a webinar that I'm putting on in 2 days. So Wednesday, March 20th at 12:30 p.m., which is Eastern Standard Time, aka Detroit time. So if you have questions about marriage-based green cards and interviews inside the United States, you're going to want to send a request to sign up for this webinar because I'm going to talk all about it. I'm going to talk about the difference between marriage green cards inside the U.S. versus outside the United States, and all this funnels down to wait times and processing times. Okay, so I will say that as of right now, the processing times for green card requests for family members inside the United States, specifically spouses, is I basically just did a video about it not too long ago on my YouTube channel. So you can check out that video. But processing times inside the United States, most people talk about petitions outside the United States and the visa bullets and all that kind of stuff. Highly important. But most people don't talk about processing times inside the United States. Well, inside the United States, processing times depend on basically the office that is assigned the case, right? So most states have one designated office that handles their interviews. For example, Detroit, Michigan handles all the different requests for people who are geographically located in the state of Michigan. Okay. So the service center in Detroit processes requests just like every processing center. And there's a different wait time for them versus New York, versus Philadelphia, versus San Diego. Okay. So right now, and this was as of when I did my video, which was about a week ago, the processing time right now in Detroit, Michigan is 18 and a half months. Okay. Um, Again, I'm being reminded to remind you to remind me. No, I'm just kidding. Type your questions. Okay. Make sure you type your questions into the comment section so I can answer any relevant questions you have. Tons of our friends on Instagram. Okay. You're joining, but you really need to type in your questions when you have them. Okay. And that's the same for YouTube. Please type in your questions so I can answer them. Okay. So, what's okay? So right now, and again, I'm being asked a question about what are the processing times for Maryland. I don't have that information right now in front of me. That is something that I could get for you. If you watch my video, I will explain to you where you can go to find that information yourself. But basically, Detroit is about 18 and a half months. We posted Charlotte, North Carolina is 18 months. New York City is 19 months. Chicago, 18 and a half months. San Diego, 14 and a half months. That's a long time, right? So over a year for just getting the interview for green card requests for spouses and family members. Okay. So make sure you check out my video so you can figure out additional processing times for different jurisdictions like Maryland. Again, I don't have that information in front of me, but I know it's readily available if you know where to look. My video will tell you how to do that, okay? So I got a question here. Can USCIS forgive your overstay? That's a very timely question. My YouTube channel talks about a lot of this stuff. Okay. So you can always check out my YouTube channel, but USCIS, they can forgive anything, anything that they want. Their priorities are such that they're harsh on certain things and they're very lenient on others. Right now, they're very, very harsh on overstays, but the individual agent absolutely has the power to forgive an overstay, and they often do. It depends on the history, it depends on what was going on. So if you have more specific questions, you can always contact me directly, and I'm going to post the link where you can contact me if you have more specific questions about that or really anything. Okay. So let's see here. 1 second here. Let me post on here. So if you have questions, you can click on the link and you can schedule a consultation or time to talk to me about this stuff. Okay. So let's see. Yes. Question is, do I represent people in Chicago? It depends what it is. Okay. Lots of stuff I do nationwide. Absolutely. I help people nationwide. So so yes. So the answer to that question is yes. I absolutely help people in Chicago all the time. So reach out to me, click that link. If you want to schedule a consultation, you want to talk to me about your case, it depends what it is. If it's the court, I don't go to court in Chicago, but I do virtually everything else. So click on that link and let me know if you have any questions. So a question here, does your case have to be sent back to your local office before it gets approved? I'm in California. My case was sent to the National Benefit Center and has been there for a few months. So the National Benefit Center definitely processes things, usually like I-130 requests. Interviews are always conducted locally at your particular service center. Anything with an interview is local, okay? Your address within driving distance, it will be sent back to your area. If it's just an I-130, if it's a petition where you don't need an interview, then the different service centers will review and approve something. But if it requires an interview, it does get sent back to you, okay? So again, don't forget to type in your questions. There's a lot of really good questions right now. Before we get too far sidetracked, I want to make sure that people know about my webinar that I'm going to post the link to. If you want to be a part of my webinar that talks about marriage green cards, okay? Green cards inside the United States is what we're talking about here. You're going to want to be a part of my webinar on Wednesday. So Wednesday, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time is the webinar that I'm doing to talk about that. And here, let me put this slick little graphic that we have here. 1 second here. Here it is. Marriage green cards. If you have questions about it, you need to know the difference between a marriage green card in the United States or outside the United States. This is the webinar that you want to be, you're going to want to be a part of, okay? So there's the information, 12:30 on Wednesday. It's a Zoom. So you can request to be a part of that by letting us know if you want to be a part. Here's the link to that. So please check that out. Again, absolutely free for this, okay? So if you want to be a part of it for free, here it is, okay? So let me look at some of the other questions here. Okay. If you came on a B2 visa, worked for 4 months, and then filed for a marriage-based green card, will the work you did within the U.S. be forgiven? Could this delay the case? That is a big question, lucky one. So as a tourist, you're supposed to be forbidden from working. I assume you know that. There are a lot of things that you can be forgiven as you go through this process, and it all depends on how you characterize this information in your request. I have lots of clients that I've helped with this, okay? And for the most part, I'm able to get around this and get them to forgive this sort of thing. Sometimes they're very heavy-handed and they will hammer people, and they will not, absolutely not let them, um, they will not let them, um, let me turn this back on. They will not let them go through the process without punishing them. Okay. So sometimes it doesn't work, other times it does. So it really, really, really depends. Okay. So let's see here. Um, okay. Okay. So that's the thing, lucky one. It really depends. Okay. So if you have a question, click on the link down below. I put the link where you can reach me directly and I can talk more about this and find out more about the case to see what we need to do to cleanse that for you. Okay. So you just got to reach out to me. So back over here to our friends in Instagram, lots of people, please put your comments and questions in the comments section. Okay. So let's pick up where I left off. My US citizen daughter is turning 21 tomorrow. Congratulations. That's awesome. I've been out of status for 20 plus years. Can we proceed with I-130 while I'm here? Is that the first form we should do? Okay. So this question seems simple. There's a ton more that would need to be known for me to be able to answer that. I highly suggest that you schedule a consultation with me for that. I can't give all that information on this live right now, but I will say that having your daughter this close to that, absolutely. You can file for the process. She can sponsor you for the green card, and you can submit the information. The question, what you have to do if there's other problems, that's the bigger question that I'm trying to get to the roots. Um, there might be a whole lot of things that need to be done in order to fix that, in order to be able to get the green card interview inside the United States. Okay, so so schedule a consultation so I can talk more about it, because that is a huge opportunity for you. I will tell you that I've helped many, many, many people fix their papers with this scenario. Sometimes people are required, or it's important or needed to do some other type of process like a parole in place. Again, check my YouTube channel because I've done videos about this where it explains what the parole in place, military parole in place, that is possible for people in the United States, whether they have children or not. You can adjust status in the United States if you do certain things. With children who go into the military, parole in place is one way that you can do that. Click the link to schedule an appointment with me so we can talk about that. Because again, 20 plus years is incredible. But what would be even more incredible is that if you can actually get a green card after being here that long. So check out. I just posted that link again, so you can reach out to me directly. So check that out and schedule that consultation so we can talk. Let's see here. Let me see here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Looking for questions that I can answer. USCIS sent a letter to my husband stating intent to deny. And we have, okay, it's that question wasn't finished, so you may need to reach out to me to ask the rest of your question. So yes, a lot of this stuff is very time sensitive. Okay, so you might want to get on that as soon as humanly possible. A notice of intent to deny is a big deal. Usually it comes after one or more requests for evidence have been submitted, and they tell you exactly why they think that you don't meet the requirements. And they usually invite you to respond to them, to correct them if they are wrong. And you absolutely are going to need an attorney for that. So I would encourage you to schedule a consultation so that I can help you figure out what is needed, if it's even possible to fix. Time is of the essence. They're not going to wait around for you, okay? Let's see. I'm married to a green card holder, okay? So yes. So if you're asking about consultation, I put the link there. Please follow the link and schedule a consultation to talk to me. I'd love to help you, okay? I overstayed my visa, but I submitted an asylum application within a year. How much time have I accumulated? Well, it depends when you submitted it, depends when you entered. That's not a question can be easily answered like this. I don't know if this was like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or 2 months ago. So I would say that you probably need to reach out to me so I can help you figure that out. Asylum is a hugely, hugely powerful thing that is in flux right now. So I tell people, while you can still take advantage of the asylum process, you should. Asylum is a side process that it doesn't matter if you've entered with a visa and you overstayed. If you have a valid asylum claim, that kind of, no pun intended, but it trumps most things, meaning it takes precedence. So asylum is something that you can forget everything else. If you can get asylum, that supersedes most other things, okay? So you're going to want to schedule a consultation to talk to me about this because it is a highly technical area of immigration law, okay? Let's see here. It's been 7 months. I came here as a student, but I didn't go to the university, so my visa is terminated. I'm 19. Can I apply for a green card despite my loss of status by my sponsor? Okay, so that's a delicate question too, okay? It depends on a great number of things. Is it possible when you're out of status? That's the real question here. If you're out of status, can you still move forward with a green card? A lot of it depends on your sponsor, depends on your overall history, okay? So it is possible, but it depends. So again, don't leave this to chance. Schedule a consultation so you can talk to me and I can answer that question and help you figure out how to do it the best way, okay? Can you only do parole in place with military affiliation, or is that an option for someone not affiliated with the Army or the military? It's a military thing. So the sponsor or child has to be a member of the United States military or former member of the United States military. So it's a special program to basically thank and reward people for serving in the military, okay? Okay, let's see what else we have. So let me go over to my friends in YouTube. There's a lot of questions here. Thank you everyone for joining. So let's see here. Fast and Furious. Earl, thank you, sir. I'd be happy to talk to you as soon as you schedule that consultation. We can get you in and I can help you figure out whatever you need help with, okay? Thank you. You're following us from Facebook today, so thank you for that, sir. Okay, my U.S. spouse has filed a green card for her ex before, but they got divorced in the process and her ex was able to get only a work permit. Can she file for me this time? Yes, Zeus, 100%. Now, I will tell you that it's a little bit delicate. Legally, she can sponsor multiple people throughout the years. The difficulty is communicating things and filing things in a way that the government doesn't suspect fraud. That's the big takeaway with this stuff. If they suspect fraud, like she's doing this to give people papers, that's a bad situation because they are relentless, okay? They are unforgiving when it comes to that. Is it possible? Yeah. It depends on how it's filed, and you got to make sure you do it right. I will tell you again, I will put my link here, schedule a consultation for that so I can help you figure out how to do that in the right way so you can actually get success. But yes, it is possible, okay? Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm waiting for other questions to come through. So let me go back over to Instagram. Our friends at Instagram, thank you. Please put your comments and questions in the comments section so I can answer questions for you guys and let you know how to steer you in the right direction, okay? This stuff is very complicated, but if you have somebody in your corner to help you figure it out, you can succeed. Domestic civil PFA impact citizenship. I apologize. I don't know what a PFA is. So domestic civil PFA. If you want to tell me what that is, I can answer that question. I will say that PFA. I'm drawing a blank. I can't imagine what a PFA is. If it's something to do with like domestic violence, maybe. Um, so domestic violence impacts citizenship. Everything impacts citizenship to one degree or another. What I mean by that is one of the prime components of citizenship is showing that you have the moral character to get citizenship, right? Certain crimes absolutely invalidate you from being able to do that. Even if it's usually they look at the 5 years, certain crimes, even if it was 30 years ago, you ain't never going to be able to show that you're morally, you have the moral character to be able to get a green card, or I'm sorry, citizenship. So be very careful with anything criminally related when you're moving forward with a naturalization. Okay, schedule a consultation with me to ask that question. Tell me exactly what your crime is and ask if it's possible to still move forward. I will let you know and I will help you if I can. So just check that out, okay? Let me go back over here, see what's going on our friends at Facebook and YouTube, okay? Let's see. Do you think registering for selective service can help your marriage-based case? So again, Zeus, another question from Zeus Publishers. So you're required by law, right, to file for selective service. So if you don't file for selective service, that's going to come back and bite you later, okay? Usually it doesn't bite you until you go to the naturalization part of immigration, but it definitely can catch up with you, okay? So if you can show that you've met all the requirements and you've done what you're supposed to do, yeah, that's always a positive. That's never a bad thing. So, and you probably saw my video on YouTube. Since you're calling us or reaching to us through our YouTube channel, you probably have seen my video. So check out that video. Basically, it explains to you what the selective service is and what the requirements are, the age requirements, who's supposed to do selective service, and the consequences for not doing it. Usually, it's not a criminal thing, but you can be prevented from moving forward with your citizenship is the most important thing. Okay, so check out that video on my YouTube channel where I explain all that. And while you're there, check out a bunch of other ones because I have a ton of videos on my YouTube channel that are designed to help people. Okay, if it doesn't help you completely, there's a way to get help, which is to reach out to me. So if you schedule a consultation or check out my other social media, I provide a lot of free information to people. So check it out. Okay, I want to go back over to this to let people know that in 2 days, we're doing our marriage green card webinar, Wednesday, March 20th, 12:30 p.m. For anyone who's not sure the difference between green cards in the United States and outside the United States, there is a difference. And the question is, how do you qualify? How can you be in the United States and get an interview in the United States? I'm going to talk about this stuff on Wednesday. So check that out. Check it out. And if you want to be a part of that, absolutely you can. And I see here, let's see, let me go back to comments. Our friend Terry, hi Terry, how you doing? That question relates to you in a way because I know that you have questions about that. I will say that this particular webinar is for people who are already married and need to move forward with the green card process inside the United States. If you are not married, and if your spouse isn't already in the United States, this webinar might not be very helpful for you. So if I'm speaking to you, if you're married and your spouse is in the United States and you want to try to figure out whether you can do your interview in the United States, check out this webinar, okay? Last month, I did a webinar for people outside the country about how to navigate that process and who applies for, and that's for spouses and fiancés. So this one is spouses inside the United States. So check it out. It's going to be very exciting, I think. Okay. If you were approved on an ESTA, but an event you're coming for changed to a later date, am I able to apply for a B2 visa even though I just applied for ESTA? Or this hurt my B2? Okay, so lucky one. Seems like you've got a lot of really good questions tonight. You are always able to file for that visa, okay? The ESTA is a way to avoid having to do it for short periods of time. If you need to stay longer, the B1, B2 is the visa for you, okay? So it will not hurt your chances, right? ESTA is entirely separate. That is an entirely separate process and set of laws that allow you to enter the United States without having to get a visa. But if you need a visa, you need to stay longer, absolutely do the B1, B2 visa. Make sure that you do it promptly because, like everything, it takes longer than you ever think possible. Okay, so check it out. But yes, you can do that. So, all right, Terry, no problem. It's my pleasure. So we'll talk to you again in the future, I'm sure. Okay, let me go back to my friends at Instagram. What kind of questions do we have here? Lots of questions. So thank you for everyone who's joining today. And don't forget to write your questions into the comment section. And let me go to, protection from abuse. Okay, so that was a question earlier. Protection from abuse. We don't have that in Michigan. I don't know exactly what that means. Protection from abuse. We might have to talk because it kind of sounds like a domestic violence related matter. But since we don't have that equivalent here that I know of, I don't exactly know what protection from abuse means. So reach out to me if you have more questions. I've completed my work permit clock till now, and my individual hearing is next month. Okay. Let's see. Is it good or bad for my case? I've completed my work permit clock. It's irrelevant. The clock for work permit purposes, I'm assuming asylum is what you're here for. That is a benefit. That is a right that you have in order to be able to work and travel legally in the United States. It's not good or bad for your case. It just provides you the benefit to be able to do things more freely in the United States. So if you've completed your clock, that means that you're able to apply for your work permit. And that's a good thing. It just doesn't impact your case at all, okay? I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Must we file taxes together? No, the law does not require you to file taxes together. There's different benefits or reasons why somebody would file taxes with their spouse, especially for immigration purposes. If you both legally work in the United States, it's virtually always a good thing for immigration purposes to show that you file together because it shows that you're committed. It shows that you represent to the government, that you are together and you sink or swim together. So that is definitely a good thing, but it's not required. Okay. Okay. T status. Okay. I have a question about what is T status? A T visa is a trafficking visa. So if you suspect that you may have been trafficked into the United States, then the T visa is an opportunity for someone that was trafficked in order to get protection in the United States. And it's a path to a green card and citizenship. So that's what the T status is. Okay. Let me go back over here. So again, a lot of these questions depends great deal on the context. Okay. So these lives are great for giving people general information and even specific information, but certain things require consultations because it's just not possible for me to get the relevant information quickly enough to answer your question. So if you find that I'm not answering your question, click on the link and make sure you schedule a consultation so that I can answer your questions and so I can help you with your process and let you know what the best process is and how you can qualify. Okay, so check that out. So let's see. If you have questions, put your questions in. We're almost done with today's session. Okay. If you have questions type them in. I will again remind everyone that I have this webinar coming. Let's see here. I'm going to put the promo on here. This wonderful picture, a handsome guy and a beautiful woman. That could be you, maybe. If you have questions about marriage green cards in the United States, interviews in the United States for your spouse, what does it mean? How do you do it? How do you get interviewed in the United States? This webinar is for you. So make sure you register for it. March 20th, that's in 2 days at 12:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, Detroit time, New York time, Eastern Standard Time. You get it. So check us out so you can be a part of that. A lot of really good information we're going to talk about. So make sure you check that out. Let me see any other last minute things that I want to go over. Again, always schedule a consultation. If you have questions about a case, a problem, a request for evidence, anything related to immigration, you really should schedule a consultation. Webinars are great, amazing, but specific information to your case is much more important, and that's what consultations are for. So again, thank you for everyone who joined us today. Remember, every Monday, I do this at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So please check us out again. Thank you for everyone who joined. Really appreciate it. Again, check us out, schedule a consultation, register for the webinar, and don't forget to check back with us next week. So thank you kindly. Everyone have a very wonderful night, and I'll talk to you some other time. So thank you. Bye.